Libra, something enormous is coming your way: abundance, recognition, and blessings so big, others won't be able to handle your success. If you're hearing this now, it's not an accident. You're not here by coincidence. You're here because a divine alignment, an invisible thread of fate has guided you to this moment. This is your invitation to step through a golden door. And on the other side? Wealth, honor, and a life that reflects everything you've prayed for in silence. This is a sacred message for the Libra soul. A moment just for you. Recently, you may have felt the energy around you shifting. Subtle at first, like a breeze in a closed room. But now, it's undeniable. Something has changed. You're beginning to attract attention, not all of it good. The truth is, not everyone is ready for your glow up. Not everyone can accept that you're finally winning. But let me be clear, you are not responsible for their discomfort. You are responsible for your evolution. Libra, you've moved through seasons of quiet battles. You've shown grace in the shadows while building silently behind closed doors. And now, it's harvest time. The universe is positioning you at the center, not for applause, but for alignment. There are those who have watched you rise with disbelief. Not because you don't deserve it, but because your growth challenges the version of you they were comfortable with. Let them watch. Let them wonder. This season is not about explaining. It's about receiving. And yes, I know what you're thinking. Is it really my time? Libra, if you're even asking that question, then you already know the answer. The door is open. The blessing is real. And your name is written on it. This message is more than tarot or astrology. This is about divine orchestration. The money you've prayed for. The opportunities you almost gave up on. The relationship that understands your depth. It's all forming around you now. But there's one thing you must do: claim it. And claiming starts here. Right now. With your voice, your energy, and your faith. So I invite you to anchor this moment with a powerful declaration. Comment below and affirm, "I am ready to receive what is mine." Let that sentence echo through your fingertips like a prayer. Not just for engagement, but as a spiritual signal to the universe. Because when you speak it, you create it. And before we go any deeper, let me say this from my soul to yours: thank you. Truly. For your presence here, for your energy, and for being part of the Zodiac Whisper Tarot family. Every like, every comment, every share, every subscription, it breathes life into this sacred space. And because of your support, we are able to keep sharing these transformational messages with those who need them most. Now, Libra, I want you to stay with me until the very last word of this reading. What's coming up in this video, what the universe is about to reveal, is going to shift how you see your future. And perhaps even how you see yourself. So take a deep breath. You're not just watching this video. You're answering a call. And that call says, the golden door is open. Are you ready to walk through it? It's often in the quietest seasons, the moments where we suffer in silence, grow in solitude, and rise without validation, that the most profound transformations take place. And now, Libra, you're emerging from that hidden cocoon into undeniable radiance. But with visibility comes vulnerability, and with success often comes resistance, especially from those who weren't prepared to see you win. The energy of the Five of Swords gently weaves its way into your reading here, not to warn you, but to help you understand a subtle truth. This card doesn't scream conflict, it whispers it. It reveals the tension that simmers beneath smiles, the envy wrapped in politeness, and the unsettled glances from people who once underestimated your light. What you're feeling isn't imagined. It's the ripple effect of your growth disturbing the stagnant waters around you. You see, Libra, when you rise quietly without noise, without fanfare, your elevation becomes even more confronting to those who thought they knew your limits. Some may feel confused, even betrayed, not because you wronged them, but because your growth outpaced their expectations of you. That dissonance can be deeply uncomfortable for others, especially if their own evolution has stalled. It's not your job to fix that. It's not your responsibility to shrink back into a version of yourself that keeps others comfortable. Instead, this moment is about accepting the discomfort of others without letting it poison your joy. You are not required to explain how you got here. You don't owe a backstory or apology. You are allowed to simply receive what you've earned, what you've prayed for, worked for, cried for. This is where self-trust becomes essential. When energies of comparison, envy, or silent opposition arise around you, do not let them shake your foundation. Remember, even when others cannot applaud, you are still worthy of standing tall. Growth often creates separation before it creates connection. And that's okay. What feels like rejection is often redirection, guided by forces you can't always see but can deeply feel. There's a deeper spiritual rhythm playing here, one that mirrors a sacred truth. The right people will never be threatened by your elevation, they will celebrate it. The ones sent for your next season will not compete, they will collaborate. And those who can't walk with you now? They were simply part of the preparation, not the promise. In moments like these, it's also helpful to return to what anchors you. In times of turbulence, the simplest wisdom can feel like divine intervention. Consider the gentle reminder found in sacred teachings, that a table is often prepared for you right in front of those who once discounted you, not out of cruelty, but as confirmation. A reminder that grace doesn't need revenge, it simply requires readiness. And perhaps, that's what this season is calling for, not more effort, but more openness to receive. The truth is, Libra, you're stepping into answered prayers. But as they arrive, they may shake the atmosphere around you. And you must decide, will you dim your shine to keep others at ease? Or will you allow yourself to embody the version of you that you've been becoming behind the scenes? Let this be the part of your journey where you stop waiting for permission. Let this be the moment where you understand that success is not always about being liked, it's about being aligned. Let the stares come. Let the silence linger. Let the distance form. You're not here to explain your transformation. You're here to live it. And just like that, the winds are shifting. The door has creaked open a little wider. Take a breath. This is your space now. Own it, not because someone said you could, but because deep down, you know you were always meant to. When you see the Ace of Pentacles appear in your energy, Libra, it's not just a promise, it's an activation. This is the universe's quiet but steady way of placing a key into your hand. A key that doesn't just open any ordinary door, but the golden one, the one that leads to stability, abundance, and grounded fulfillment. While other aces speak of passion, thought, or emotion, the Ace of Pentacles is the only one rooted in tangible reality. It doesn't whisper dreams, it plants seeds that grow into lasting, visible results. And you, Libra, are now being invited to step into a new cycle where what once felt distant or delayed suddenly becomes material and meaningful. There's a shift occurring around you, a series of quiet alignments that may not make noise, but they move mountains. These are the financial cubes, forming unexpected payments from past efforts, investments that once seemed blocked now loosening, and opportunities returning from places you once felt rejected. What was denied is circling back, this time not to test you, but to reward your readiness. The truth is, this chapter isn't about working harder. It's about receiving differently. There's no striving in this season, only aligning. In astrology, when planetary movements support financial expansion as Jupiter, Venus, or transiting North Node often do, it's not just about getting lucky. It's about being aligned with your divine timing. And Libra, your chart has been quietly building toward this moment for months, maybe even years. You've been doing the inner work, and now the outer world is reflecting back the vibration you've chosen to hold. That's the magic of the Ace of Pentacles. It doesn't manifest until your energy is stable enough to sustain it. Numerologically, the number 888 is pulsing through your field right now. It's known as the infinite flow of material and spiritual abundance, the divine currency of the universe. When 888 shows up, it means that what you give out will return multiplied, as long as it's done from a space of integrity, gratitude, and belief. That's why this isn't just about a paycheck. It's about opening the floodgates of circulation, giving, receiving, investing, trusting. Wealth isn't just about accumulation, it's about movement. And you, Libra, are about to become a channel for this sacred movement. Color frequencies also play their part. Deep green brings in grounded financial energies, the color of rooted success. Gold connects you with power and royalty, the acknowledgement that you are worthy of being seen, paid, valued. And silver or pure white brings in divine protection and clarity, because not all that glitters is meant for you, and clarity will protect your path. Surrounding yourself with these colors, whether through clothing, crystals, candles, or visualization, can act as a subtle but effective way of anchoring your abundance. But above all, what matters most is the state of your heart. Can you let yourself receive what you've asked for? Can you let go of the guilt or fear that once convinced you that more was selfish or out of reach? The invitation here is to step out of scarcity and into sacred stewardship. One gentle practice I encourage you to try, each morning, before you check your phone or scroll through the world's noise, write this simple sentence in your journal or say it aloud with hand over heart: I am open to receiving divine wealth in all forms. Let it be your seed of intention, planted with faith, watered with consistency, and protected by your belief. No matter what the world looks like outside, this one sentence becomes the vibration you carry. Your abundance is not only arriving, Libra's already here, knocking softly. You don't have to chase it. You just have to recognize it. And once you do, you'll realize it was never about what you earned. It was always about who you were becoming. Sometimes, just when you're learning how to walk on your own, the universe places someone beside you, not to carry you, but to walk with you, step for step, soul for soul. Libra, this part of your journey is not meant to be walked in solitude. You've done the inner labor, planted the seeds of self-worth, and built resilience through quiet chapters. Now, the Two of Cups arrives as a sign. You are ready for divine companionship, someone who meets you not through perfection, but through resonance. This card doesn't simply point to romance. It speaks of connection on a frequency that goes beyond logic. A friend, a partner, a mentor, or even a family member may appear or reappear not to save you, but to see you. And more importantly, to reflect back to you the light you've been cultivating within yourself. In astrology, when Venus, your ruling planet, aligns with supportive aspects like Jupiter or Neptune, relationships often deepen in the most unexpected ways. And under those skies, what once felt distant becomes magnetically aligned. It's as if two paths that have been running parallel suddenly curve toward each other at just the right moment. Energetically, this is what I call frequency matching. When your vibration shifts, your circle shifts with it. You begin attracting connections not out of old wounds or familiar patterns, but from clarity and wholeness. The Two of Cups shows up to remind you that there is someone already nearby, or on their way, whose presence will not feel like noise or distraction, but like stillness. Like home. This is a bond that doesn't rush to define itself. It simply unfolds. You may already be sensing this person. A feeling that someone is quietly returning, or suddenly appearing, with a kind of emotional presence that doesn't ask for explanation. And you don't need to force it. The universe orchestrates encounters when the timing is right, not when you're ready to chase, but when you're ready to receive. And maybe this time, you're not trying to be understood. You're simply allowing yourself to be known. In your everyday life, this might look like a former friend reaching out with softer eyes. Or a conversation with someone you never expected would go deeper. Or it may simply be a quiet knowing that you are no longer emotionally walking alone, even if there are no grand gestures. Sometimes healing begins not in dramatic reunions, but in subtle consistency: the text returned, the unspoken understanding, the peace between words. One helpful practice during this time is to write a letter, not to send, but to feel. Write to the version of love you're ready for. Or, if you're healing something old, write to the person you're learning to forgive. What you say doesn't need to be poetic. It only needs to be honest. This is how energy moves. When you give voice to your emotions, even privately, you begin opening the space for something new to take form. If you've been wondering whether someone is quietly thinking of you, holding you in a place of care, or even asking the universe how to return to your life, you're not imagining it. Some people are guided back to us not because we go looking, but because we've shifted into a version of ourselves that can now hold the connection more fully. There's nothing you need to chase, Libra. What's for you is already orbiting you. Just be willing to stay open. And if you feel it, I invite you to reflect on this quietly. Do you sense that someone is being drawn back into your life, not to fix you, but to walk beside you? Sometimes the answer to your silent prayers comes not in fireworks, but in a gentle knock. And all you have to do is open the door. Not every blessing arrives with fanfare. Sometimes, it shows up in the form of a simple message, a quiet opportunity, or a shift so gentle that you almost overlook it. But Libra, what's moving toward you now has the unmistakable energy of divine orchestration. You've been patient. You've surrendered. You've held the vision even when the evidence was nowhere in sight. And now, a moment is approaching that will feel like a breath of grace, a reward wrapped in subtlety. The Page of Cups reflects this energy beautifully. It doesn't shout. It doesn't rush. It speaks softly, carrying messages from unexpected places. In tarot, this page often symbolizes good news, invitations, or reconciliations that come when your heart is most open to receiving. And astrologically, with Jupiter forming a harmonious trine to your destiny node, the timing is no coincidence. This is your cosmic yes. The energy that once said, "not yet," is shifting into now. Think of it this way: seeds don't bloom the moment we plant them. They grow underground, invisible, surrounded by darkness until the roots are strong enough to support the blossom. Libra, the seeds you've sown with hope, effort, and even tears are beginning to rise. Something is sprouting beneath the surface, and though you may not see the full bloom just yet, the soil is breaking open. This is where faith becomes action. And action begins with acknowledgement. Sometimes we're so focused on what hasn't come yet, we forget to notice what's already on its way. A simple email, a missed call, a casual conversation may contain the key to something much bigger than it appears. Don't dismiss the small signs. Spirit often speaks in whispers, not thunder. In your personal life, this may look like an offer from a company you thought had forgotten you. Or a text from someone you once loved deeply but had let go of. It could be a delayed payment finally arriving. Or even a new idea that lands out of nowhere, so clear, so specific, you can't deny it. The common thread is this: it will feel like something old is being returned in a new, better form. Energetically, this is a moment to release any inner tension that says, "I'll believe it when I see it." That energy delays miracles. Because in the law of attraction, the universe doesn't respond to what we wish for, it responds to what we believe we are worthy of. That's why this is the perfect time for a gentle self-check-in. Ask yourself, what do I truly believe I deserve right now? If your answer is rooted in self-love, the doors open. If it's rooted in doubt, the doors hesitate. That's the alchemy of belief. To help align your inner frequency with what's coming, I invite you to try a simple exercise today. Write down 3 things you know, deep in your spirit, that you are worthy of receiving. Not because you've worked hard enough. Not because you've been perfect. But simply because your heart is open and your time has come. Then, choose one and comment it below, not for me, but as an energetic statement to the universe. The truth is, Libra, some of the greatest gifts arrive wrapped in stillness. Your role is not to chase or control them, but to stay aware and receptive. You don't need to know exactly how or when the blessing will appear. You only need to make room for it. As you move through this season, let your eyes stay open to the small signs, the quiet nudges, the gentle reminders. Your breakthrough may not come with fireworks, but when it comes, it will feel like coming home to something you didn't even know you were waiting for. If everything you've asked for were to arrive today right now, would you truly be ready to receive it? That's the quiet question the universe asks when you reach this threshold, Libra. Because stepping into your next chapter, no matter how abundant or aligned it may be, also requires something of you: the willingness to release what no longer serves the version of yourself you're becoming. The truth is, you cannot carry old emotional baggage into a new energetic reality. You cannot take fear of failure into a season of expansion. You cannot take guilt into a room built for joy. And you most certainly cannot take beliefs rooted in not enough into a life that's already preparing to overflow. Energetically, this is your detox phase. A clearing out of clutter, not just in your physical space, but in the quiet places within. Think of it as a reset for the soul. You're not erasing the past. You're simply choosing not to let it steer the direction anymore. When I work with clients navigating major transitions, this is the phase where resistance tends to show up the most. Because releasing is vulnerable. Letting go requires faith. And it's easier, at times, to hold on to the familiar discomfort than to face the unknown, even if the unknown holds exactly what you've been asking for. But here's the beauty: the moment you decide to release something, even silently, your energetic field begins to shift. You don't need to have all the answers. You only need to say, "I no longer choose this." That alone creates space for something better. You might be feeling this call on multiple levels. A friendship that feels misaligned. A thought pattern that plays on loop telling you that success isn't safe. A sense of obligation to stay small so others feel comfortable. All of it is, even the smallest piece takes up space in your field. And right now, that space is sacred. It's where your miracles are meant to land. A simple practice you can do is this: write down what you know, intuitively, is weighing you down. No judgment. No shame. Just write it out. Then, with intention, burn the paper safely or tear it into pieces. Watch it leave your hands as a signal to the universe that you are choosing freedom over fear. That you are choosing clarity over confusion. For those who crave something more ongoing, try a gentle 7-day energetic detox. Begin each morning with breathwork, just 3 minutes of deep, conscious breathing. Pair it with light, visualization-based journaling or simply a quiet walk in sunlight. Each day, choose one belief or memory to release, and one new affirmation to replace it. It's not about speed. It's about alignment. There's also wisdom in daily spiritual reflection. One beautiful truth I've learned from those who walk in faith daily is this: you don't need to have complete certainty to trust that something greater is working in your favor. Sometimes all you need is the willingness to let go of what's heavy, and the patience to wait while something lighter takes its place. So if today was the first day of your wealthy, joyful, fully aligned life, what would you leave behind? Would it be self-doubt? The need to prove? The weight of others' expectations? Ask yourself gently. Then trust the answer that rises. Because the future isn't waiting on your perfection. It's waiting on your permission. If you've made it this far, Libra, take a deep breath, because that alone says everything. You showed up for yourself. You listened not just with your ears, but with your heart. And that is the beginning of all transformation. You don't need validation from the world to claim this new chapter. You don't need permission to bloom. You are not waiting to be chosen, you already are. This season of your life is not a test of worthiness. It's a confirmation of readiness. You have walked through the fire, and you didn't let it burn you down. You let it forge you. And now you're standing at the edge of the very breakthrough your younger self once dreamed about. The time of hiding, hesitating, holding back has passed. This is your harvest season. Not because you forced it, but because you grew into it. So I want you to pause, just for a moment, and thank yourself. Thank the version of you who kept believing, who kept showing up in small ways, even when the path wasn't clear. That version of you built the bridge to this moment. And now the reward isn't just Kaminjits unfolding all around you. Everything we talked about today: receiving abundance, releasing old energy, recognizing soul-aligned connections. It's not just theory. It's your next reality. But to make it real, you have to participate. This isn't about manifesting from a place of desperation. This is about stepping into alignment with bold, grounded confidence. The kind that says, yes, I'm ready. Not someday. But now. And maybe the most important thing I can leave you with is this: your destiny is not in the hands of those who doubt you. It's not tied to people who couldn't see your worth. It's in your own hands, and in the steady unfolding of a universe that never stopped believing in your timeline even when you did. You were not forgotten. You were being prepared. Libra, if you remember nothing else from this message, let it be this: you are not behind. You are not late. You are right on time for what's meant for you. The door is open. The path is lit. And the energy is calling you to step forward with both feet, both hands, and a heart wide open. Now, I want to invite you to ground this message through your own voice. Comment below and affirm it: I'm stepping into my wealthy Libra era. Let those words echo beyond the screen. Let them become a declaration to the universe that you are no longer doubting your value, you're re-embodying it. If this message stirred something in you, if it made you pause or breathe deeper or smile through tears, I ask you to honor that feeling. Like this video, share it with someone who might need a gentle reminder that they, too, are not forgotten. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to this Sacred Space Zodiac Whisper Tarot, where every word is crafted not just to predict, but to awaken. As we close, I send you this blessing: may the stars illuminate your next step. May divine timing meet you exactly where you are. And may you soon look back on this moment and say, that was the day everything quietly began to change. Now tell me, Libra, what are you no longer carrying into this next chapter? What are you finally ready to receive with open arms? I'm listening. And so is the universe.